Hi, this is Pete from the Family IT Guy. This is my gaming PC, and if you check out the link above, you'll see a video of how I put the machine together in the first place. Now, the case I've got the PC in is quite an old case, so I decided it was time to get an upgrade, and I have, which is here. So here are some of the features that I like about this case. It's only a budget case, and because it has to live under a desk in the living room, it's probably going to get kicked, so there isn't any point in spending a lot of money on something flashy. The other thing is, yes, it has space for 5¼ inch drive bays. As you can see there, I still have that, and that's because I occasionally want to rip CDs or DVDs using this machine when I'm not using it for gaming. So some of the nice features are dual intake fans on the front, and what I think is a very quick and easy mechanism to take the front panel off for cleaning. So yes, it's got a dust filter on there that just comes off very easily, and the two fan mounting positions are nice and recessed inside the case. So I think that's one nice feature. Another feature is the top has two exhaust fan positions. Again, this mount comes off easily. There isn't any filter on this one, but I'm thinking I might not need to use both of these as exhaust mounts. And I'm considering whether I can put one of these onto the front of the machine instead. And to secure this back in position, there's just a nice little switch, and there is a similar one on the bottom, so no pulling plastic poppers out. So on the inside of the case, as you see, one of the fan position is nice and unobstructed. Get air straight through to your graphics card, which I like. The lower fan position is slightly obstructed by your hard drive bay, but I guess you've got to put them somewhere. I picked this case because it's got slots for holding several. Some of the other cases I looked at only had positions for 2 drives, which wasn't really what I wanted. It's also got a space for a SSD at the bottom, or 2½ inch drive. One novel idea is these pins for putting in your optical drives, and they're just captive things. Shame they're not black, because they do sort of stand out rather being white, but that's a useful feature. And as you can see there are some switches and fan controllers, and as you see that the fan controllers are all labelled top fan, and then there's another one in there for for front fans. So you can change the fans quite easily and plug them into the fan controllers, and the fan controllers have got 2 speeds, which is a useful, and they're 3-pin fans as well, which I think is quite nice. So all in all, I'm looking forward, I think, to getting this build in here. It should be a big upgrade from my current case. So there are some nice things to say about the box of accessories that came with this. There are some screws here that normally are the ones that fasten the case panels on, but you can also use them, because there are 4 of them, I can use them to fasten the power supply in with thumb screws, which is a good idea. There's some dampening material here that you can put onto the rails for attaching the hard drive to stop vibrating hard disks. There's some little washers here, which I think are meant to go on the motherboard to stop you over tightening the screws a little. And yeah, there's some spare other screws for attaching another fan, which again you don't always get in the case. And there was also a speaker as well. So a nice little box of accessories, really. Okay, so I've had the machine built and using it for a few days now, and it's certainly a big improvement over what I had previously. As far as the build process goes, whilst these clips seemed a reasonable idea, I did find this is really tight and close to the end of the case there, which is a bit tricky to get your fingers in and tighten it up properly. Also, the mechanism for mounting the SSD, the screws are a bit tricky to get to down there. Not the best solution, but never mind. Cable management they're not too visible from the front here, the power cables. But yes, the SATA cables are a bit untidy. I don't see there's a neat way to put those in. Let's just take a look at the back and see how the cables are there. You can see, well, actually, a lot of cables shoved into the back of this case. The gap between the back of the case and where the panel goes is not really that deep. And whilst the case has a sort of a surround that is extended a little, it doesn't go right to the very edge. So this little tray, which you think might be useful, is not useful at all because it's flat with the edge of the case until there. I don't understand why case manufacturers don't just make the cases a little bit wider and a little bit more room to neatly manage your cables in the back of them. But yes, the fan controllers, though, I'm very impressed with those. The fans run nice and quietly and still shift some air even on the quietest setting, so that's a nice thing. This case is a good upgrade for me. Keeps all my components nice and cool. I think I'm getting around 40 degrees from the CPU, even whilst doing some DVD encoding, which is great. I did run with the one of the top fans removed, as I said I might do. I'm not sure whether that's necessarily, I'll put it in the front there, I'm not sure whether that's necessarily the optimal config. Maybe the manufacturers did get it right in that most of the heat rises and comes out of the top. But it's all working fine for me for the moment. So given, as the saying goes, given that it's not broken, I'm not going to try and fix it. But yes, definitely a worthwhile case upgrade, and one to consider if you're not in the market for RGB fans everywhere, which, as I said before, in my little desk position and under the floor, I'm not really going to see the RGB fans anyway. So I hope you found this video useful and a little bit more in depth than some of the other reviews of this case I've seen, and I'll see you again in the next one.